The Wildcats are Big Ten West champions. We'll hear about the next round from NNN Sports Night.
NNN sits down with Medill's interim dean to hear more about the school's stance on press freedom.
And the Evanston business scene changes once again. We'll tell you more about downtown's newest coffee shop.
We'll have all those stories and more coming up on the Northwestern News Report.
It's your news right now.
Good evening, I'm Sian Shin.
And I'm Joey Safchik. Thanks for joining us. According to the email sent out by Northwestern Chief of Police Bruce Lewis, a woman was found dead yesterday morning at Hinman and Church. Her body was found in the alcove at the First United Methodist Church. According to officials, the body showed signs of trauma, but the death did not appear to be weather-related. No clear cause has been identified yet. In the email, the Evanston Police Department announced that the woman is not affiliated with Northwestern. Investigators believe there is no ongoing threat to the public. The death is still being investigated by the Evanston Police Department.
As a response to recent reports of men targeting women on campus, Safe Ride is temporarily suspending its 3-block minimum distance requirement. In the email sent out by Vice President of Student Affairs, Patricia Tejas-Irvin, stated additional safety updates. Campus Loop and Evanston Loop shuttles will operate 1 hour early from 5 p.m. to 3 a.m., and 5 residence areas, including the Graduate Engelhart Hall, will be staffed overnight. The email further emphasized the advice from Chief Bruce Lewis: avoid underlit sidewalks, walking alone, and wearing stereo earplugs or headphones while walking. The university and Northwestern University Police Department offer other emergency services, including Blue Light Emergency Phone, Safe Walk, and Safety Escorts. Safe Walk is available through the NU Help app, and Safety Escorts is available at 847-491-3456.
Medill's interim dean, Charles Whitaker, sent an email to Medill students and faculty last week speaking out against the Trump administration's decision to revoke a CNN reporter's White House credentials. NNN's Yahan Chen sat down with Dean Whitaker to learn more about why he says it's more important now than ever to defend freedom of the press.
Medill Interim Dean Charles Whitaker sent a statement to Medill students on November the 9th. In his statement, he emphasized the responsibilities of Medill to raise voices when journalists' duty to speak truth to power is under attack.
First and foremost, we want to make sure that our students are practicing journalism honorably and respectfully. But the other thing I think that Medill and other strong institutions can do is talk to people outside of our orbit about the importance of a free press.
Dean Whitaker's statement is a response to the Trump administration's suspension of CNN reporter Jim Acosta's press pass to the White House on November the 7th.
The responsibility of the press is to sort of hold our leaders accountable, to hold a mirror up to our society and enable us to see ourselves. If the press is sort of bound and inhibited by government, it makes it difficult for us to do that. When a society isn't holding its leaders accountable, it becomes susceptible to authoritarianism, to autocrats.
Medill senior Daniel Zhou says he appreciated the school's comments on the current political discussions involving journalists.
I feel like definitely Trump administration has some influence on the freedom of media organizations. I treat it as an encouragement for me to explore new topics without the fear of the legal restrictions.
Dean Whitaker says he thinks the public will not understand how critical media is until we start to lose it.
Press freedom really means that we have these independent institutions that are going out and investigating, but also reporting on the things that make our lives, that make our society function. If there are restraints placed on that, we lose this vital information, this vital conduit to our leaders, to our government, to our schools.
He further emphasized that Medill should do a better job talking to the public about the critical role journalism plays in our society. Yahan Chen, Northwestern News Network.
The White House has temporarily restored Acosta's press pass following a federal court judge ruling on Friday.
Northwestern football has had a successful season, and it's not over yet. We have Benjamin Boken from NNN Sports Night on desk with us today. Thanks for joining us, Ben.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So the Cats were crowned the Big Ten West champions. So how big of a deal is this, and how are students responding?
Well, honestly, it's definitely the biggest deal. It's the biggest deal ever, and it's arguably the biggest thing that's happened to Northwestern's football program in the modern era. Northwestern is playing in the Big Ten championship game for the first time in school history. It's only been going on for 8 years, but it's an achievement nonetheless. And Northwestern is also champions of the Big Ten West for the first time in school history. Now they have their eyes turned towards the Rose Bowl, which is a pretty big achievement, and they'll only be able to do that if they do win the Big Ten championship against the champs of the Big Ten East. But it's a huge achievement, and Northwestern can even become champs of the entire Big Ten for the first time since the year 2000. So, and I don't know if you remember this, but over 3,400 kids, students will be going to the game from Northwestern. So that's almost half of Northwestern's undergraduate population. And Northwestern was allotted 10,000 tickets to give to alumni and students and season ticket holders, and those are already sold out as well. So this is a huge deal from a campus standpoint and a football standpoint as well.
And Ben, be honest with us, but what are Northwestern's chances of becoming the Big Ten champion?
Well, that all has to do with who Northwestern ends up playing. They're either going to play Ohio State or Michigan. It's a little tough because most people want to see Northwestern play Michigan. They played earlier in the year. Northwestern was able to go up 17-0, and the Cats actually ended up blowing that lead, which was a huge letdown. But it showed that Pat Fitzgerald's squad can keep up with one of the teams who they will be playing. Their defense has gotten a lot better. Joe Gaziano, Nate Hall has played very well for Northwestern as of late, and their running game has been stellar with Isaiah Bowser, and they have a quarterback who will be drafted into the NFL in Clayton Thorson. It's going to be really good. Their defense will need to step up against dual-threat quarterbacks that Ohio State and Michigan have. But nonetheless, Michigan is going to be the team Northwestern wants to play if they want to have any chance.
Great. And so if we do win this big championship game on December 1st, what happens next?
Well, first of all, they're going to go to the Rose Bowl for the first time since 1996, which is amazing for them. And most of all, they'll solidify themselves as a team that college football takes a lot more seriously, and they'll solidify themselves as a school that big recruits will want to go to. Northwestern's been fighting to do that over the years, and that will help them accomplish that for sure. They've been a consistent team over the past few years, winning a couple bowl games in 2016 and 2017. So now this is a good opportunity for the Cats, and it will just solidify their program as a strong football team.
Well, we really do hope that Northwestern will make it to the Rose Bowl this year. Thanks for joining us, Ben.
Thank you.
And coming up, Northwestern remembers the Sand Creek Massacre.
I hope everyone is prepared for another cold week with a mix of rain and shine. I'm Avery Zeeper. Stay tuned for your 5-day weather forecast.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Northwestern break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all the go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
Welcome back to your 5-day weather forecast. Wednesday will be partly cloudy and cold with a 10% chance of precipitation, a high of 36 degrees and a low of 27. Thursday's Thanksgiving will be the highlight of the week with sunshine and no prediction of rain. There will be a high of 39 degrees and a low of 34. Friday evening, there is a 40% chance of showers with a high of 54 and a low of 40. Be prepared to wake up to morning showers on Saturday with another 40% chance of rain. We will see a high of 46 degrees and a low of 38. Sunday should be an overcast day with a high of 42, a low of 35, and a 20% chance of precipitation. I'm Avery Zeeper, and this has been your 5-day weather forecast. Back to you.
Thanks, Avery. In November 1864, the U.S. Army attacked a Native American village in present-day Colorado. An estimated hundreds of Cheyenne and Arapaho people were murdered in what became known as the Sand Creek Massacre. Here at Northwestern, the Sand Creek Massacre has particular relevance. When the massacre occurred, John Evans was the governor of territorial Colorado. Evans is also one of Northwestern's founders and Evanston's namesake. NU students and faculty held the 5th annual Sand Creek Massacre commemoration on Saturday. A song, followed by a prayer, and later a bonfire, all in commemoration of the Sand Creek Massacre. Jasmine Gurno from the Office of Institutional Diversity and Inclusion helped organize the event.
I think it's important for us as members of the Northwestern community to learn about and help understand and engage in healing around the massacre that happened under one of our founding members.
In Norris, about 80 people looked to recognize the massacre, from Northwestern students to descendants of survivors from Sand Creek, like Gail Ridgely of the Northern Arapaho tribe.
I know that the students will pick up from today to explore more.
Northwestern's campus sits on the homelands of the Council of the Three Fires, the Ojibwe, the Potawatomi, and the Odawa.
As a Native person from the city of Chicago, as an urban Native, I think it's important that I'm here to support.
A short film provided background on the massacre, speakers shared personal insight, and at a Lakeville bonfire, attendees threw sacred tobacco patches into the flames. Ridgely lives in Wyoming, but has traveled to Evanston to honor his ancestors in this commemoration for the past 3 years.
The more you talk about it, it's part of healing, part of the process.
The commemoration concluded just the way it began, with a song and a memorial prayer in remembrance of what was lost more than 150 years ago. Members of the NU Native American and Indigenous Student Alliance launched this event 5 years ago and joined 4 other campus institutions to help it grow into what it is today. They say they look forward to seeing its impact on campus for years to come.
Northwestern's feminist student theater group, Lipstick Theater, hosted a multicultural poetry night to promote their fall show, Earthquake Chica. NNN's Kayla Blaze found out what these students had to say.
Inside of Norris's Ditmar Gallery, Lipstick Theater served up hot chocolate with a refreshing side of poetry, short stories, music, and comedy. From gender, sexuality, and relationships, to race, class, and heritage, performers were invited to discuss an aspect of their identity. School of Communications sophomore Alessandra Hernandez read the poem The New Colossus by Emma Lazarus in English and in Spanish.
Whose flame is the imprisoned lightning, and her name, Mother of Exiles.
Hernandez says she hopes that her piece provides commentary on the privilege of freedom in America.
I think that it's really easy to take for granted the freedom and liberty that is written into our daily life in this country. And that's not to say that we can't critique it. That's the whole point of having freedom and liberty. I hope that the people who have always had the privilege to live in a country that offers you such liberties look at the world and understand how much others living in different places, just a little bit south of you, in the global south, would give to be in your position.
Event coordinator Natalie Welber says she believes young audiences should be exposed to this kind of diversity.
I think it's incredibly important to be talking about right now and to be exploring from a lot of different perspectives. Especially on a college campus, you have the opportunity to interact with people that are not from your hometown or are not even from the same country as you, whereas in your hometown maybe you don't have that much of a diverse community to interact with.
Lipstick Theater's event featured more than 15 performers to celebrate their own identities through word and song. Kayla Blaze, Northwestern News Network.
And after the break, we'll take you inside the newly renovated Welsh Ryan Arena.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Go Northwestern, break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all the go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, spread for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
Want to know where to get your next caffeine fix? Well, there is now yet another new coffee shop to choose from in downtown Evanston. NNN's Bryce Wilcoxon is live outside a new coffee shop.
And thanks, Ian. I'm on the corner of Church and Sherman, across the street from Evanston's Barnes & Noble at Colectivo. This cafe is the newest addition to Evanston's long list of coffee shops. After a year of construction, it opened its doors last Friday for a private event that offered free scones and coffee. Since 1993, they have hand-roasted their coffee at their Humboldt Boulevard Cafe in Milwaukee's River West neighborhood. Colectivo joins Evanston's many small businesses looking to take advantage of the student market. But trouble could still brew for Colectivo, given the number of businesses that have gone out of business recently. It took over the space of the former Radio Shack, and just one door down, Francesca's clothing store closed earlier this year. A student favorite coffee shop, Caffeine, also closed this year. Time will only tell, but success serves up. Reporting live from Colectivo, I'm Bryce Wilcoxon.
Thanks, Bryce. Unicorn Cafe is located less than a block north of Colectivo and actually brews their coffee using Colectivo coffee beans.
We wanted to know your thoughts on the coffee scene at Northwestern, so we asked you to espresso your thoughts on your favorite Evanston coffee shop in this week's edition of Rock Talk.
Hey everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of Rock Talk. I'm Tiffany Shu, and with the opening of the new Colectivo Coffee in downtown Evanston, we wanted to ask students what their favorite coffee shop was in Evanston.
Rock Talk.
What is your favorite coffee shop in Evanston? That'd have to be Unicorn Cafe.
I like Norbucks because it's a shorter walk.
I'd have to go with Coffee Lab on that one.
What do you like about it?
I mean, it's a bit of a trek since I live on South Campus, but I do really like their lattes.
I don't drink coffee.
Starbucks.
I'd have to say Norbucks because it's so convenient and it's on campus.
I like Caffeine because on Monday nights they have like a poetry session thing and it's pretty cool. Also, their drinks are kind of funny and they kind of roast on college students.
So have you heard of the new Colectivo Coffee in downtown Evanston?
I have not.
Would you be interested in checking that out?
Perhaps.
Actually, I went there yesterday. It was a little bit too crowded for me, but that's probably just because it had just opened up. So I'm going to try to go back, in about a week to see if the crowds have died down. But I mean, the coffee was good.
Thanks for watching Rock Talk.
If you have an idea for a future Rock Talk topic, tweet at us at NNN_news.
In the past year, Northwestern has spent nearly $380 million upgrading their athletic facilities. $110 million of that went towards the renovation of Welsh Ryan Arena. NNN's Keith Bohr went to the new arena to find out more.
Standing behind me is the brand new Welsh Ryan Arena. It opened on November 2nd and will serve home to the Northwestern basketball, volleyball, and wrestling teams. Coming at a staggering price point of $110 million, it was anything but cheap. But hey, when it comes to athletics, glory never is. Northwestern Athletic Director Jim Phillips said that the unveiling of the new Welsh Ryan was a historic moment in the future of Northwestern athletics. This is a sentiment that has certainly been echoed by students and fans through their raised expectations.
Northwestern has put a good deal of money into all of their athletics to upgrade all their facilities, and I think with that we're going to see corresponding increase in the quality of their teams.
They've done it in part to attract recruits, right? So hopefully
they would have better quality recruits, which would lead to better quality teams. So.
Speaking of raises, the new Welsh Ryan Arena has 4 new elevators to improve accessibility, but that's not all that's new. Wider, more accessible concourses, fresh bathrooms, new seating to replace old bleachers, and new concession stands have all been added to improve the fan experience. The new Northwestern Hall of Fame even includes touchscreens, but the renovation made sure to recognize Welsh Ryan's history, which dates back to 1951. Floorboards from the old Welsh Ryan decorate the walls. There are 7,039 seats in the arena, a tribute to when Northwestern hosted the first NCAA tournament in 1939. This nod to history is something fans say is very meaningful.
Yeah, it's for heritage and tradition is very important.
Yeah, definitely. Last year, Northwestern was essentially homeless, having to travel 40 minutes for home games at Allstate Arena. But now, just a short walk away from campus, the Wildcats have found their home, and the fans are coming. For NNN, this has been Keith Bohr.
Students tested out the arena Saturday for the annual A&O Blowout concert. Carly Rae Jepsen was the headliner with an opening performance from Smino.
And after the break, we'll tell you about the return of a cozy fundraiser.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Northwestern break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
A social justice health club on campus found a creative way to raise money this holiday season. NNN's Olivia Olander went to see if it was her style.
It was the most fundraising time of the year for students in GlobeMed. The Advocacy Club sold ugly sweaters in Norris last week to raise money for the Adonai Group, a school and healthcare center in rural Uganda.
This is our biggest campaign of the year, so we're totally nonprofit and all the proceeds go to them.
GlobeMed external co-president Yasmin Diarra says the group tries to curate a variety of sweaters for shoppers.
We try to be inclusive. We had a dreidel sweater this year, so like ugly grandpa sweaters, which are trendy, sweaters you'd find at Urban Outfitters for way cheaper with us, and then of course, classic ugly holiday sweaters.
Director of Campaigns Alexis Snowden says these sweater sales make the group stand out.
This year we've heard a lot of like, oh my god, like, this is my favorite sale on campus, which is like great. That's my favorite response.
Aside from spreading holiday cheer, the sale works to educate the student body.
I really like interacting with people while they're shopping, getting to see more faces on campus and knowing that it's for a good cause and being able to talk about our partner and what they do and advocate for them on campus.
Freshman Lyra Johnson says the group's mission is what led her to join GlobeMed.
I think the idea that healthcare is not a privilege but a right is a really important part of GlobeMed's mission, and so that's why I was interested just recognizing that whether you're here in Evanston or in Uganda, the right to adequate healthcare and just having proper access to that is really important.
After 5 days of sales, the club was able to raise over $5,000 for the Adonai Group. Olivia Olander, Northwestern News Network.
Members of the Northwestern Quest Scholars Network gathered at the Cube in Parks Hall Wednesday to celebrate National Quest Day. NNN's Mary Yang was there.
As one of the 40 QuestBridge partner colleges, the Northwestern University chapter of the Quest Scholars Network, also known as NUQSN, participated in the organization's 5th annual National Quest Day. NUQSN co-president and liaison Christian Reyes helped plan the event on November 14th.
So National Quest Day required us to kind of brainstorm with nationals and talk to other liaisons to see what they were doing. It's also kind of like a picture competition, so we had to kind of think about like the best way to take a picture, and we had to plan for timing and what kind of snacks we wanted.
Northwestern has participated in the QuestBridge match program since 2009 and now has over 400 members. First-year Sydney Matriciano says she enjoys being part of the QuestBridge community.
So I'm a QuestBridge match recipient, so like they reached out to us after we were matched and sent us this newsletter with like some of the things that they did, and then they've just kept emailing, so that's how I like showed up.
As Northwestern University's only low-income and first-generation advocacy group, NUQSN provides a community where students from similar backgrounds can come and connect with each other.
So the first couple of years that I was here, I was trying to find friends, I think, like community, someone that I could feel comfortable with. And it wasn't until my junior year when I was the treasurer for Quest that I started to feel like I spent some time with people that, I don't know, I felt comfortable with.
The event was also an opportunity for first years to get to know the rest of their QuestBridge community. Mary Yang, Northwestern News Network.
High school students who submitted applications for the 2018 QuestBridge National College Match will receive their decision on December 3rd. And coming up, students compete in Northwestern's largest talent show.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Northwestern break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all the go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
As a play on Showtime at the Polo, the African Students Association hosted NU's largest talent show, Afro Polo. Here's what these students brought to the stage. The members and friends of NU's African community came together Friday night in Ryan Auditorium for Afro Polo, the biggest talent show on campus. Students showcased a wide range of talent, including dance, comedy, slam poetry, and music. Sophomore Amamake Oshobe is the ASA ambassador who helped to plan the show.
We're showing off our talents and that, Africa is not just a useless continent, because that's the perception that a lot of people have. And so I think after seeing this whole performance, they're gonna have a different view of Africa, especially people that are very ignorant and sheltered.
There were no judges for the show. Instead, the winner was chosen by the biggest audience cheers. Akwazi Bochi, also known as Q, won the first place prize of $250. This was his first time rapping on stage. Q says he is both excited and shocked by his victory.
It's hard to describe, man. I don't know, just my first time being on stage, and all the support I got was really helpful. I don't know. I still can't talk right now.
Oshobe says ASA hopes that Afro Polo helps build a community for not only African students, but Black students as well.
That's kind of the goal of ASA. We just want to build a community, and we don't want people to feel ostracized or they're left out.
In this way, Afro Polo was a night of celebrating and making people more aware of African culture.
Well, that's all the time we have for tonight. For all of us here at NNN, I'm Zoe Safchik.
And I'm Sian Shin. Thanks for watching.